Hello and good evening to my friends. I have a new thing that I want to discuss, and it's about relationships, love relationships, like the twin flame thing. For everybody who heard of that term already, about relationships in general, about my experiences with those things, about family, about so also family members. You have a relationship to, parents and siblings and aunts, uncles, and all that stuff, and your surroundings, neighbors. And so, in general, with my content, my videos, I want to all the time connect all the parts of life, of everybody's everyday life. Like we have everybody has several things in life to cover, like relationships, like health, like transportation and stuff like that, and I'm a big fan of combining those things. So but the core uh, issue and the core theme is about, first of all, love relationship. Yeah, so my experience with that is began in the year of 2023, like 2 years ago roundabout, and I fell in love. So the first time, so it was not the first time for me to fall in love, but this time when I fell in love 2 years back, it was not that easy. It was quite difficult for me, and I really had to start thinking about that and dig deeper into this thing called love. And so I got my heart broken, and I was communicating with another person because a lot of people, they sent me like their experiences with the experience with that and with love relation and stuff like that. And that's why, because I also made this experience, had this experience, and that's why I want to talk about it a little more. And so for everybody who also has had this experience, for me, it was, yeah, I fell in love. I was only communicating with somebody like online on social media, but never, so just once met this person in real life. And then after several weeks, we began to like communicate with social media, and we never met again afterwards. Uh, yeah, we were communicating like for more intense for some weeks, but then it got a little less, and then it was a back and forth, and I never actually met this person again. And I still, after several months, I still was looking for a for, for this person and to communicate with this person, which is not such a good idea. It's just a hint for oneself, for myself, to grow, and to like don't fall for that trap, because eventually it's a trap. It was a trap for me that I realized with the time, but I needed really long for that to realize it, that this does not lead me anywhere, that it just can just teach me something, and yeah, so 2 years passed now, and I still did not meet this person. And this person was looking for me, so this person contacted me a few times, and I always had it in my mind and in my head, oh, this person. And I was thinking a lot about this person all the time, like more or less, so not really intense or with feeling, so that they were feeling connected, not really, maybe a little bit, to be very honest, maybe a little bit, okay? But I realized and I understood that this does not lead me anywhere, and that this is actually in vain and just for me an indicator to, to dig deeper into myself eventually, and to empower myself more and more. Yeah, this is a process, guys. So this is not from one day to the other. And I always tried to, and I always, yeah, tried to really stay centered and focused. So where does this come from, that you can, that a person can fall for somebody or for an illusion actually that hard? So I think, or yeah, the roots for that are in the childhood, in the upbringing, and with the relationships to the parents. And if you were abandoned as a child, for example, I'm a classical case of abandonment. So I felt very abandoned by my parents and by my family in general. And that's why I still, after such a long time, still um, have this issue in some way or to some degree. And this was the reason for me. So I was, my whole life, I really had a hard time to build connections that really are lasting, and based on that build a life that's meaningful and to be on my own. It's about being on one's own in some way. So this goes for everybody in a different way, and for me it's very different to other people. And I knew that for a long time already, because I never really followed a path that was like somebody has given to me or advised me or suggested me to do this or that. I always did things my own way, and this makes life, of course, quite hard and difficult, depending on the circumstances you were born and raised, of course. So I was born in circumstances that were quite like rigid, and you have to follow a certain path. So, and was never really good for me and my personality and my soul. So that's why I really had to fall on the ground so many times. And yeah, and I'm so glad, I really am so glad that I made this experience so these 2 years ago. And because now I can't really fall for that anymore, because this teached me something, or I grew from that. I don't really want to say like that I learned something about it, but I grew out of that. That's what I like to say much more. Yeah. And yeah, so, and I focused more and more on agriculture and on fruit trees, for example. For me, this vision that I have really got stronger for me, and with those experiences. And I back in those time, and still I was thinking a lot about, or wondering about that, what is this about to have a love relationship. So for me, it would only make sense if there was perfect harmony. And but if you have a love relationship with one person and you have that perfect harmony, it's like not really realistic to maintain that in your surrounding, because you're also always connected to other people that might bring you down or that might challenge you in some way. So for me, this was not really realistic, and I felt, or I was back then, really like a kind of a helpless child who could not really fix myself in some way, because I couldn't really find my way, or like um keep my head above water. And I always was in that stagnant life situation where I couldn't really get out of, and somebody helped me then after that. So I kind of fixed myself, and another person really helped me with that, and then I could move on with my life and with my vision and with my things. And yeah, this was still lingering from my childhood, or my very early childhood, and also my whole life actually was still lingering, that I couldn't really find a way myself. I needed that support still. And yeah, it was of course very hard to accept that back then. So the past, so yeah, when I was younger, it was hard for me to accept that, because I couldn't really articulate that I need that support, that I need help. I couldn't really ask my parents. So I had no, I didn't have I didn't trust my parents. They were for me like people that I don't trust, and I don't really want to talk to, and I don't really want to demand anything. And this was then as well, like with other people, I always like was in the background, not demanding too much, and be good, be a good boy, and be like invisible even, and only do my own thing, and only like cope with life and all the challenges in life myself, and don't take on help too much and stuff. So this was a big thing for me, and I'm just in the past months and years, I'm learning that and growing out of that. And yeah, so for everybody who has similar experiences maybe. And yeah, and then I was really wondering and asking myself, what is this about with relationships? So, because I see so many people having relationships, but so many people as well having relationships where it's not really harmony, and some relationships there is a little bit of harmony. And so, for me, what is this actually about? Because, of course, in a relationship, you gain you gain energy. Eventually that's what it's about, and you always all the time in life you want to gain energy, life force, to lead a happy life and a meaningful life where you have energy. And I mean, that's, so in my view, what this is actually about, pretty much more than the other person. It's the same, like, why do people get children? Why do they? Yeah, so there has to be they have to gain something out of that, not like what is the gain, like, I think it's you see that there is a child growing up, and this is life, and you reproduce life, and that is like something beautiful, and that's why people get children, I think. So at least most of them, I don't know. And so yeah, these are very basic things in life that shouldn't be taken for granted, I think, because I was raised in an environment where those things are, so in my view, are being taken for granted. So you have to get married at a certain age, you have to have children, you have to do this and that. So that's not how it should be, because then you never really understand or figure out or feel the meaning of that, all those things, because there is a deeper meaning for that, and the meaning is to keep the life going, and to keep the joy of life going. And what life is actually about, life is joy and meaning and quality, and wealth and all those things. And it's not something that you can reproduce, like, after a certain plan that is given by your ancestors that you just follow along. You have to feel that, all those things to, yeah. And yeah, so once again back to the relationship and twin flame and love relationship thing. So it's quite easy to fall in love for me. Anyways, it's quite, or it used to be quite easy to fall in love with somebody, and it still might be a little bit. And maybe there are people they fall in love easier than other people, and it's really such a thing. It's really challenging for me because it's actually not that good to fall in love that easy, because then you give another person power again, and admire another person, and wow, I fall in love with you, and I feel this connection, and I feel a strong feeling and stuff. And I mean, that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's so important to focus your energy and your attention to yourself. So not see in another person, like feel something, and project something into that you might feel at the first time. So for me that's important. And to, yeah, to stay by yourself, so to stay by myself. And yeah, so because there are a lot of, for me there are a lot of people that I could imagine to be with, to live with, to have a relationship with on the surface level. But when it comes to an when you dig deeper, then it's something totally different, and you really get to know this person that you might admire, or then it's, of course, it's something very, very different, and it might get challenging, and you might um you know uh this feeling that was, what this initial feeling might change completely. And so for me, that's why it's so important to really feel very deep into a relationship, or yeah, with another person, how you really feel, because that's where the truth as well lies. And the truth is so important in every like aspect of the life. Yeah. And that's why, so last but not least, my conclusion for that is that agriculture and fruit trees, and what I discovered for myself, is something that's really a big solution, or for that twin flame relationship thing. Why is this the case? Because for me, it's something that really can connect people to one another. And I'm a big advocate of like a new structure in the world, and something that every person can connects people. Something that connects people and that is in harmony with nature. And when I say something, then I mean the things that's important for your existence. So the basic that cover the basic needs, which is food, nutrition, and which is like a shelter, a home. Um, and those basic things are the most important things for me. And agriculture and fruit trees is for me something that is in harmony with nature, and that has the potential to connect people. And this makes relationship, love relationship, family, and those relationship things, I think is makes this a very different, like it changes that dynamic of how it in the modern world will deal with those things, that makes it changes the dynamic, because the people focus much more on nature and what mother nature and nature provides us and what we make out of it to meet our basic needs. And uh, that in the society makes, I think, a big difference, and how people communicate and interact with each other. And that's what I see as my mission, and that's what I want to find out, and I'm working on that like for already several years, how this connects, so my light is on, is off now. Wait a minute. So, and how the dynamic in society changes with that, to really, because so where I live in Austria, which is quite a western orientated country, so where technique is common and present, and a lot of technique, and like how it is common to deal with people, with agriculture, and with the economy and stuff. It's very not so in harmony with nature, and that's where all the problems and all those wars and those conflicts stem from, and that's what I'm certain about. And so for me, my big vision, and I'm so certain about that, we can only like have this harmony that everybody, I think, wishes for, longs for. I hope everybody, except for the evil people. We can only have that if we really work and deal with nature and our planet Earth in harmony. Because the planet Earth and nature provides us with everything, with the basic needs, and that's the most important thing. So yeah, that's my vision. This was quite a long video, and I hope there was something for you to get inspired and to think about, maybe, or to work on, or anything. And yeah, so I see you in the next video. And thanks for the inspiration for that video, because as I already said in the beginning, some people wrote me about that, and I often don't really know what to reply to such messages, and so that's my answer to that. So my friends, see you in the next video, and bye.